This video exists because, once again, I pissed people off by telling the truth. Yes, I know. It all hurts when our headcanons don't match reality. Trust me, I've been there. So, how did I piss people off this time? Simple. I just said Chibiusa deserved better parenting. Basically, most of the things that led to Black Lady would not have existed if Neo, Queen Serenity, and Keen Endymion were just better parents. And a lot of people are like, no, the child is always wrong, the parents should be exonerated, and you're wrong because you didn't watch the episodes. I've spent too much time watching this, okay? My website exists as a testament to the fact that I should do what the rest of you need to do. Go outside, see the sun. So, we're going to go into what Wise Man did and did not distort, okay? So we're at episode 84. And I'm using Hulu because I don't feel like digging out my DVDs right now. And for the sake of copyright, I'm going to mute the TV. We're going to cue the bubbles. Okay, now let's play. The first thing that people got on me on was, what do you mean Chibiusa had a rude staff? Okay, here we go. Episode 84. Here's the Crown Princess of Crystal Tokyo. And essentially both the Earth and the Moon. She's the princess of all the things at this point. And this is how the staff treats her because she accidentally knocked into a vase that broke. Keep in mind, she's the princess. They work for her. Let's review. Small lady, you've been naughty again. Hi, Michiru. You can't become a proper lady that way. Excuse me? That's your princess. All she has to do is use Luna P, and her mom can behead you guys. Now, this is the first thing that Wise Man did distort. He distorted this image of the Sailor Guardians blaming her for all the bad things that happened. We know that this is just an image and that... Oh, good, my Roku froze. I didn't pause this. Great. We know that the Sailor Soldiers didn't actually talk to her like this about the crystal on account of, well, her mom was put into crystal stasis and they ended up using their bodies... My own child is behind me. They ended up using their bodies to, put up a little barrier over the palace. So this part is distorted, but that memory, where she was being screamed at by her staff, that's not a distorted memory. Okay, so we're at episode 85 now, and this is where a lot of confusion happens. And I'm going to tell the truth. This is kind of the same in the Deke version as it is in the Viz version, as it is in the subtitled version. So, I'm going to give Deke some credit here. They didn't change all that much. Just some confusing names. But here we go. So, we have this flashback. And I kind of want to point something out about Chibiusa here. So, the anime doesn't do a good job of explaining this, but they do in Sailor Moon Crystal, and of course they did in the manga. Chibiusa, when Isagi meets her, is... over 900 years old. She turns 902 in, her second ever short story in the manga. That's my baby in the back, who's going to be raised properly. Now, here in this flashback, she's probably 4 or 5. Her age stops at about 6 until after she's done being Black Lady and becomes Sailor Chibi Moon. Then she starts to age in these little spurts. So keep in mind, this is a deep-seated memory. We've gone over 890 years into the past for this memory. So she's about roughly 4-ish, maybe 5-ish at the most here. And yeah, she's wearing the same outfit because, guess what? Her uniforms are not school uniforms like her mom has to wear. No, she just really likes the sailor suit style. So just take that wherever you want to take that. But anyway, we can see in how she's drawn and in her mannerisms that she's a toddler here. This is not a regular school-age child yet, okay? Keep in mind, Wise Man replays memories. We've already seen one that he did distort. The other ones, not so much. So here we go. We're going to put the bubbles back on. This is on mute. Now we're playing. What's happening? Little tiny Chibiusa sees a froggy. And she's wearing her mom's Sailor Moon boots, by the way. Now, it's raining, so her mom is trying to warn her, be careful, you'll trip and fall. And my son narrates, yep, she tripped and fall. Now, a normal parent would kneel down and help the child up. You don't have to pick them up, just hold out your hand and offer. That is all you have to do. hold out your hand. Just say, here, take mommy's hand. I'll help you up. Instead, see what happens when you don't listen to mommy? Chibiusa is clearly hurt. She's got scratches on her face. Oh, stop your crying. Girl, you cried over ice cream. So she's like, Dad, will you help me up? No, I'm being a pissy pants. Honestly, even Wise Man was a little shocked. Now this part he mildly does distort. We'll go ahead and play. This part's mildly distorted where they're like, oh, it's all your fault for tripping and falling. That part's distorted. Now, I thought, oh, the whole memory must be distorted. No, it's not, and we're going to get some confirmation on that pretty soon. Now, here's the other problem that I have, and this is a big one. I mean, I've built a website around this one. It's so big. So, we're remembering Chibiusa's birthday. At this point, she looks a little older, so we're going to think this is probably her most recent birthday. Today is my birthday. And, of course, the Guardians are planning a party, so they're like, oh, yeah, that's right, happy birthday. And she's like, but Mom and Dad are AWOL. I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. They have important official business. You guys are the king and queen of everything. You have no other countries to answer to. Why are you not home with your child? And here's the other problem, okay? This whole BS with, oh, well, they had, official business, which we know is a lie. How are you not home for your child's birthday? How are you not home, Usagi? You share a birthday with your child. Yeah, Chibiusa and Usagi, their canon birthday is June 30th. How are you not home for your child's birthday? So here we go. She gets a surprise birthday party. And what do they say? Happy birthday, right? Happy birthday, small lady. You gotta share a birthday cake with your mom. Your birthday party's a day late. Oh, they rushed back after their work was done. What work? What work? You are the king and queen of everything. You are the king and queen of all the things. You did not have to leave. So they gave her a birthday party, yeah, but it's a day late. And she has to share the cake with her mom. And she didn't get to choose anything on her cake. They just went to the grocery store. Did you see that sad cake? That's a grocery store cake. That is a grocery store cake. They didn't even, get a proper chef. They didn't even ask Makoto to bake the cake or nothing. That's a grocery store cake. It's a cheap cake. And she still had to share. She didn't get to choose the decorations or nothing. When I was that age, my mom let me pick my cake. She had no problems baking a cake for me. And she got the little Beauty and the Beast figures for me, too. So here we are. This is episode 88. Script doesn't change that much between... Exactly. The Deke version, or the Viz version, or the subtitled version. So we're going to get the same story pretty much. Just one or two words might be a little different, but pretty much the same. Now, at this point, Queen Serenity is speaking to her daughter through the body of her 14-year-old self. That sounds normal in my head. I know to a lot of folks watching this that did not sound normal. If you watch this show enough, that is totally normal. Anywho, this woman, who, by the way, had 9 months to think about what to name her child. And what does she name her? Usagi Small Lady Serenity. My girl, you have 9 months, and that is the literal best you can come up with? I mean, you didn't think to name her, like, Rose, or Ruby, or is this something nice and cute? Nope, you're just gonna sit there, and you're gonna say, your name will be my name, but I'm putting Small Lady as your middle name. Small Lady. I'm gonna make fun of your size before you're even out the door and going to school. Wonderful parenting. Oh my god. I mean, granted, her parallel Sailor Moon itself didn't do much better. Your name is Chibiusa. Little Usagi. I guess that's kind of cute if you don't mind that she might be on a pole someday. But anyway, you had 9 months, and that's the best you can come up with. And I'm still mad about that cake. I mean, okay, fine, the little bunny rabbits were cute and all, but that's a grocery store cake. You are the queen of all the things. You have all the money that there will ever be. More than your piggy bank, Usagi. I was fully committed to the idea that we were going to find out, oh no, Wise Man made up all this bad stuff that happened to Chibiusa, and it never happened, and she was actually Mom of the Year. because after putting up with a mom like Ikuko, you'd think she would have learned something and not been a bad parent. And I was wholly committed to this. I was rooting for this. Unfortunately, my headcanon is not going to fit this episode. Watch what happens. So we go back to this memory. I was hoping this wouldn't be real, right? So we're back to... You mustn't cry. Daddy, help me up. Get up by yourself. Do you understand why we didn't help you up back then? You need the strength to stand up on your own. Whoa, 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 whoa. We did it because we want to raise a girl who can do that. We just want you to be strong, that's all. Look at that smirk. Do you think she's sorry? No. She's taking no time to reflect on her actions whatsoever. This is gaslighting 101. She knew she did wrong. Her child fell in the rain and got all scratched to hell, and all she had to do was either pick the child up or, if she really meant what she said here, just hold the hand out. Here you go, kid. Hold mommy's hand and I will help you up so you can stand on your own 2 feet. Nope. Instead, she chastised the kid for crying, which, again, you are the last person on earth who needs to talk about who is and is not a crybaby. And then she doubles down on this. Oh, I just did it so you'd be strong. You dits. You dits. Oh my God, that is not what you say in this situation. The correct answer is, hey, I wasn't thinking straight that day. I was more frustrated because you didn't listen, and what I should have done was held up my hand to you. I'm really sorry for how I acted. Can we try again? That's how an adult handles the conversation. Exactly, my boy. That is not how we do things. And she stole her haircut. And I hate to say this, but when Wise Man says, you poor loved starved bunny, don't be fooled by their nice words, I kind of have to agree. That's gaslighting. And she, of all people, should know better. Usagi, your mom hit you with a cookie tray. You should know what not to do in this situation. Now, in Sailor Moon Crystal, things are slightly better, but that's kind of marginal. Look how King Endymion talks about his own child. Small lady has no power. Luna's like, excuse me? How old do you think that girl is? Despite how she looks, she's 900 years old. Excuse me, 900? She suddenly stopped growing one day, and that's just how it's been. And she has no power, nor can she transform. Now, Venus is actually concerned. What happens if she stays powerless? What'll happen? Oh, no, her awakening will definitely come. She has a mission to protect this planet after all. Wow, a lot to unpack here. Okay, so, first of all, he talks about her like he's kind of, I don't kind of exaggerate the way I act out his voice a little bit, but he does sound a little disgusted. And even in the manga, he's got this serious face like, ugh, she's just not growing. Ugh, what even is that about? And I'm like, dude, this is your gene. This is your pants' fault. Because let's not forget, your powers were stunted until the dream arc. Where do you think the kid got it from? That's your child, dude. And like, the way he talks about it, like, no, I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but she has a mission. Like, she just owes you her servitude. Dude, that is your child. I get it. She's over 900 years old. You're kind of past the point with the counting bears. You don't want to keep going over this anymore. You want her to maybe finish school sometime before you croak over for real. I get that. But that's still your child. You could put in just a little more effort. Like, have you noticed? Nowhere. Not in the manga. Not in Crystal. Not in the 90s anime. Not in the stage plays. Nowhere anywhere in this meta-series is there any story about her mom and dad helping her cultivate her power, her mom and dad teaching her how to use the silver crystal. Like, look, this was not cute when Queen Serenity didn't teach Princess Serenity anything about the crystal or about those powers. She just kind of assumed that the 4 child soldiers she had raised to watch after her daughter would just take care of stuff for her. It was not cute when that happened back then. It's not going to be so cute now. Why are we repeating history? I thought we had a season about this. Your job as parents is to teach your child. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to teach your child. Here's the silver crystal. Here's what you need to know about it. Let's try and work on your powers. Okay, you're not transforming. All you can do is that weird little crescent moon thing where you zap people. That's cute, but let's try and get you an actual power. Like, you have all the wealth and all of these people here willing to help you, and these cats are willing to help you. You're not utilizing any of that. You're just sitting there for 900 years wondering why the child doesn't transform. Have you seen a mirror lately? Maybe this is your fault. It is a little annoying that she knew that was her mom this whole time and figured out that that was her grandma yelling at her. But it's also a little sweet that in this version she was comforted by that. So this was Chibiusa's life in Crystal and in the manga. Like, she's being harassed by boys that are much larger than her and much older than her. And subsequently the whole town, according to the manga, spread rumors that she was a fake princess because she wouldn't grow because she takes after this adult. So she's like crying to her dad about it. Oh, the crane used to be a crybaby too. A crybaby too. Dude, she's not being a crybaby. She is scared. Her whole city hates her guts because she won't grow. That's not being a crybaby. That's having a legitimate problem. But, like, the longer this goes, the more distant her parents become. Like, they're not overtly mean to her, at least on this one, but they do spend less and less time with her, I think, because they're tired of her not growing up. You know, so she gets peer pressured into looking for the crystal by people who should be bowing down and saying, "Your Highness, what can we do for you?" Because that is your princess! So it's less that she goes through in Crystal in the manga, but I have to say, her parents being distant and just the language that Keen Endymion uses really bothers me. Oh my god, like he listens to her cry and doesn't even try to console her or nothing. Dude, can you just do the bare minimum, please? Like, here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how grown adults who are older than this 900-year-old princess talk about her to her face and behind her back. These are adults. Look at their faces. They are adults. So she's had 900 years of adults talking about her like this. Okay, 895, but still. Like, even at school, the bullies are like, if your parents... Yeah, even here, the bullies are like, if your parents like you, why don't they ever play with you or hug you or anything? Oh my god. Like, in contrast, Sailor Moon always hugs her, but here, these two can't be bothered to hug. You guys are the king and queen of everything. You can't hug? You can't kiss the boo-boo. You can't hug. Exactly what can you do as parents? Now, of course, another area where I greatly upset people by telling the truth is when I say that parallel Sailor Moon exists. It's part of the manga. Even Naoko Takeuchi's editor Osabu accepts it. I don't know why we're still arguing about this. This thing came out in 1999. You've had enough years to get over it. But again, I keep having to defend parallel Sailor Moon. And subsequently Kousagi. We'll get to that later. So, a lot of people think that I only champion this because I'm a Kousagi fan, and you're mostly right, but there's a lot of other things that I love about this story. But for this video, the main thing that I'm going to talk about here is this queen. No, she's not Neo Queen Serenity, at least not yet. She's still our Usagi. She's the same Sailor Moon that she's always been since she was 14 years old. Just, she's in her 30s now. Sorry, I just outed your age. But she's in her 30s here. And you know why I love this version of Mom Usagi versus any other version in the whole wide world? It's because of this princess. Not Usagi Small Lady Serenity, trapped in the body of a 6-year-old, but she's 900 plus years old. No, this is Chibiusa Tsukino. This is the same Chibiusa that Usagi is pregnant with At the end of the Sailor Stars manga and in the post-credits for Sailor Moon Cosmos Part 2. Yes, the wedding actually did happen in the movie. Stick around for after the credits. I'm mad that I have to say that again. This thing's been out for 2 years, and I still get people saying, what? The wedding wasn't in the movie. Did you stick around after the credits? No. Go back to Netflix. So, Usagi is pregnant with this version of Chibiusa at the end of Stars. And this is after the whole thing in the cauldron, where she was given the choice, do you guys want to reincarnate? And she was like, nah, that's too much work. Let's just stay as we are. So it's not that, 30th century Crystal Tokyo will never happen. She gets the image of it. It still can happen, just not right now. So anywho, she's pregnant with Chibiusa at the wedding. Mamoru was like, oh, what'd you give me for a wedding gift? And she's like, a baby. And then we fast forward to Parallel Sailor Moon. 15 years later, here's Chibiusa. She is 15, and she looks 15. She's not stunted. I don't know about that whole thing with her dad, because she's got her dad's keychain, and I'm hoping she still doesn't have a crush on him, because that's disgusting, and I'm not going to stand for that. But anywho, she's looking her age. She's 15, and she looks 15. And guess what else? Guess what else? She's in cram school like Ami was at this age. She's doing exceptionally well. She is so smart. And what's going on here? What does Hotaru tell us? What does Hotaru tell us? In case this whole Moon Princess thing doesn't work out, they're learning about politics. So if she's not going to be the princess, she's still going to have a political career. We'll become government officials and take over the country. And she's already looking at even higher education. She's more like Ami's kid than Usagi's at this point. And yeah, Usagi, she can't dress herself, and she doesn't know how to put her shoes on, and that's a little concerning considering that she's over 30. But guess what? Not only did she raise this one right, her relationship with Mamoru apparently is better because there's a second one, and you have to really like somebody to have 2 children, by the way. But, here's the other thing that gets me, okay? I'm going to spoil this for you. Check this out. There's a comet about to hit planet Earth. The other Sailor Guardians don't know about it. They don't have time to react. There's no time to contact them. And these kids don't have communicators. They just got their powers 10 seconds ago. What happens? It's Kosagi's brain. That's what happens. She uses what she learned in school. Yeah, this is why school's important, hon. Yeah, this is why school's important. She uses what she learned in school to devise a plan that saves Earth. She stops the comet, not just using her moon power, but her brain power. Even Ami's kid doesn't do it. Even Ami's kid is like, what did I even just see? What you saw is good parenting. I mean, it's not perfect parenting because, Mamoru's language is really distressing, and I'm not a big fan of that. But apparently the kids love their parents enough that one has a keychain of dad, and the other calls for mom and dad when something goes wrong. And again, I think this beautiful, bubbly queen right here used what she learned from listening to her 30th century daughter crying herself to sleep with her giant head and that giant pillow, and just decided, you know what? That doesn't have to be my future. I can do better. I mean, we know the future is in flux anyway. Every time Chibiusa makes a time jump, we get a new batch of scouts. I mean, we started off with, just the inners and Pluto and Chibi Moon, and then we got, on the second time jump, the outers, and then we ended up with the Amazonas Quartet and the Starlights. Those people were AWOL. They did not exist at all in the 30th century the first time we met this kid. And now they do. So we know time is in constant flux. And Isagi's like, while we're deciding on changing the timeline, let's have me just not become a bad parent. And you know what? She did a great job. Sure, she can't dress herself, although that top is pretty cute. And, she doesn't know how to put shoes on. And she still cries over the tiniest things. And, I still wouldn't trust her with an ice cream cone. But This is why I say Usagi is a far better parent. She's doing a great job. These kids are going to be just fine. And you know what? Earth is going to be just fine as a direct result. They're saving the day, and they're looking at higher education. I don't see how she would be a worse parent than Neil Queen Serenity at this point. Also disturbing is not just the fact that these two had to be terrorized into being good parents, but also some of the comments I've gotten. Like, people were trying to justify it, like, if you're nice to your kids, they'll be soft and they won't be able to handle anything, says the generation that gave us school shootings and Karens who can't handle anything. And, oh, Japanese parents are always like that. And I'm like, no, they're not. My two buddies out in Japan, their moms aren't like that, and their friends aren't like that. Stop it.